Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I...
Good morning, guys. So I am determined to make some real progress with house stuff today. Started off the day with a little B&Q trip. I basically really want to get the shelves up, which means I need to paint them white. I want to do like a whitewash on them, which I think I spoke about in my last video. When you guys saw the shelves, because I bought them in the last video from the timber shop, and I needed to get some brackets for them. Now, naively, I thought, well, I've gone to the timber shop, spent £15 on shelves, so that's like £7.50 per shelf. I naively thought that a really nice shelf bracket would be really cheap. A brass shelf bracket, I could not believe it. Per bracket was, the minimum I could find it for was like £18 each, which completely defeats the point, because the reason why we didn't buy our shelves just from Etsy or whatever pre-made was because they were going to be like £60, and I thought that was too expensive. So making our own shelves and adding shelf brackets, it's funny, I'm in the B&Q car park and there's someone who definitely can see that I'm vlogging. I feel really awkward. So yeah, buying the shelf brackets to go with the shelves that we've made ourselves was going to be more expensive than just buying the initial floating shelves that we wanted. So we've gone for plan B, which is totally okay. I realise maybe you wouldn't even see a beautiful brass shelf bracket anyway. By the way, when I'm talking about shelf brackets, this is what I'm talking about. Maybe you wouldn't see them anyway, because I want to fill the shelves with obviously really nice things. So I have gone to B&Q and picked up some wooden ones, and I'm just going to paint these in the same way that I'm going to paint the shelves in. So they're going to be like a whitewash, and the shelves are probably going to be so covered in really nice ornaments that you won't really see them. I want to move the armchair into that corner to make a little reading nook and put that piece of furniture up on Facebook Marketplace. I then, when I was in B&Q, found these shelves which have a little kind of lip to them, and I thought these would be perfect shelves for my study. Really good length, they're going to sit above my desk, and I just think they're a nice width as well, because I don't want them to obviously stick out too far. So finally we have 2 sets of shelves. So today I just need to figure out how to attach them. I actually asked someone in B&Q what fittings I needed, because I thought it'd just be classic if I got home and Elliot was like, that is a plasterboard wall and you can't use that kind of screw. So I got a whole assortment of screws. They do this like pick and mix bag of screws for £2.50. I then bought these, which I believe are for like a more solid brick wall, and then in case it's a plasterboard wall, we've got these. And again, I don't really know what they are, but they just help the shelves attach to a plasterboard wall. So I think successful trip so far, and need to get back, get some paint on them, wait for it to dry, and then get it all sorted. Okay, so I'm back, hair tied up and ready to go. I've just been watching a couple of YouTube tutorials on whitewashing. Now, I have looked at this before. It looks very simple, but I'm a little bit worried about it still. I had this white paint left over. I can't for the life of me remember why I bought that white paint, but anyway, it's for something. And it's 1 part paint and 1 part water. I'm gonna mix it together in this bucket, which I bought for the first upcycle project. I've got a paintbrush, and then you also need a rag or like a cloth. This was the only thing I could find that I really wanted to sacrifice. And apparently you just paint it on, but do it in sections, and then wipe it off straight away, and we'll see how it looks. It also dries really quickly, so they said make sure you do it in sections, but don't necessarily follow this as a tutorial. I will try and link some of the ones that I found down below, just because this is my first time doing this. Genuinely been opening this can of paint for like near enough like a solid 5 minutes. I don't know why. I found this the hottest tin of paint. Just like that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a tablespoon, and I'm going to do a couple of tablespoons of this, a couple of tablespoons of water. Give it a mix together and see how we get on. considering doing a second coat. I always knew that I might have to do that. It's a much messier job than I'd expected. I think it's using the cloth or the rag just makes it really messy. But yeah, I'm happy with how it looks so far. I think apparently it dries quite quickly, so I'm hoping I can do the other side quite soon. And then obviously we'll have to do the edges separately. Like 10 minutes, but I'm actually doing a second coat. But what I've done is I've watered the paint down again because I didn't want a second coat that was like quite as quite as block white colour. I really want to see the grain through the wood. Also, just dying at how messy this is. I do really want to see the grain through the wood. I just didn't feel like it was quite like block white enough with the one layer. So yeah, this is basically one layer and one half watered down layer. So I must have added like half the amount of water into the paint again. So next job today, whilst the shelves are drying, and I'm definitely gonna wait for Elliot to get back from his run before I put them up because I just do not trust myself with drilling into walls because I don't have much experience in doing it. I'm gonna hang the curtains. So I, again, have been looking at YouTube video tutorials, and this one basically says you need to, I've got pencil pleat curtains just for some context. They are just really simple. You'll see them in a second, kind of off-white from John Lewis. They're not going to be the right length either, so I am going to need to adjust them myself. This tutorial says you need to measure the curtain pole, which is 210 centimeters, so each curtain needs to be half that, which is 1.5 meters. And basically with the pencil pleats, there's a string that goes all the way along the top, and apparently you just pull it, gather it until it's the right size. So we're gonna give that a go. What are you doing? I wish you could see what Elliot's doing for his warm-up. You're ridiculous. So there are little strings at each end, and you basically are just pulling the strings, which feels a bit wrong. Is that right? I don't know. I think so. Okay, so you're pulling the strings and just, it gathers it up. Yeah, so that's right. How cool is this, Els? Look. So that's how you make the pleats. Time consuming. I mean, it doesn't take that long, but I think it's just also because it's the first time I've done it, I obviously didn't really know what I was doing. I will link the tutorial below because if any of you have been hesitant about doing this, the tutorials just made it very, very easy basically. So I now have to attach the hooks to the curtains, and the tutorial I'm using also shows you how to do that. One side just to make sure I've done everything right, and these are the curtain rings, the rings that I found from Amazon. They were just super cheap. What I will do is I'll leave the curtains, the rings, the hooks and everything linked down below. But yeah, these were really cheap, but we knew that they were going to match obviously the pole. I did expect them to be a little bit thicker, but it's not the end of the world if they don't look right when I put them on, which I'm sure they'll be fine and probably completely unnoticeable. We could always change them anyway. But I figured out we need 19 for each curtain. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 19 on and see how we get on. right here, but just semi-hung them up. Basically, totally forgot that I need to adjust the length of them, and it's quite fiddly to hang them up. Wasn't too keen on putting every single one on the hooks and then taking them all down. So what I'm gonna do is sew them up. I think it should actually be really easy because they're just not as thick as I thought they might feel. I was a little bit worried that my machine wasn't gonna be, I don't know, good enough to do them. But I'm gonna take off 24 centimeters from the bottom. I'm gonna do both of them now because it will be easier to do the other one before I've kind of ruched it all up. And then sort out the other one and rehang it and see how we get on. The shelves, by the way, are looking great. Now that it's dried, I just think that's perfect. I think they are gonna be just exactly what we wanted. I mean, obviously in an ideal world, I would have gone floating shelves and a thicker shelf, but on a budget, these would have cost £35. So £15 for those two pieces of wood, and these were £5 each. And to be fair, I probably could have got these a little cheaper had I planned it a bit further in advance and maybe just got them from Amazon or something. I don't know, maybe that's not true. Maybe £5 is a bargain for a shelf bracket anyway. But yeah, £35 for both of these together. So I've hardly eaten anything all day, and I just found this salad in the fridge, which is actually the leftover. I'm gonna take it over here so you can see it properly. I feel like the light's a bit better here, but yeah, it's the leftover salad that I had when I had my friends over at the weekend. This is honestly so delicious. It's the sweet potato, kale, and chickpeas. You literally just roast the sweet potato and chickpeas together in the same tray with lots of paprika and a bit of cumin, and massage the kale with some oil and olive oil and some salt, and then the dressing. I think the dressing is a mixture of mustard, nutritional yeast, some olive oil, salt, pepper. I can't remember what else went into it. Oh, cashews, and I did pine nuts as well because I didn't have enough cashews. Looks so simple, but incredibly tasty. Right, pinned 24 centimeters across this whole curtain. I am praying this goes okay because there's not really any turning back. I mean, I can unpick it, but I'd really prefer not to because that would be very time consuming. So I think I'm gonna sew about that far above, similar to that section there. And then honestly just trim off the excess. I really can't be bothered to hem it nicely because you're not even gonna be able to see them. Sewing machine ready. Got my string, got my bobbin, and I need to go and set up this machine upstairs. So random fun fact about me is I actually used to do textiles at school, which a lot of people did. I did it for GCSE and I absolutely loved it. Like I took sewing classes outside of school as well in corsetry and things, but I genuinely can't remember how to do any of it now. But all I've done for literally the last like 8 years or something is sew up and down in a straight line. So I can't really remember anything about it, but yeah, I used to absolutely love it at school and actually did textiles for GCSE as well. I was just gonna clear up some of my baby hairs because when I put my hair up, and I've not got hairspray in it, so I washed my hair yesterday, and I didn't put any products in it, I just completely forgot to. It just is absolutely mental, and this brush really, really helps, but it's from Cantu, I think the brand is called, and it's this kind of texture, and it literally just makes baby hairs like completely disappear. I probably wouldn't brush my actual hair with it, but look at the difference there. Look at that, and I've got a mini one as well that I can take out, so if I've got my hair up in a ponytail, then, and it all starts to come out, which usually happens to me because my baby hair is just next level, I can just do this and it takes it all up off my face again.
She's leaving me.
Are you really sad?
I am sad.
He's actually joining me tomorrow. But I am getting the train up for the first time because there is a direct train from where we live, which should be really good. But I want to show you the room really quickly before we left because you haven't seen it properly in the light. Well, it's not obviously completely
Ignore
done,
those bits there.
Done. Oh no, is that a cab? Hello? I've done something so stupid.
You've done something so classic, like what you do every single time.
No, don't.
Every time
I
you get
booked
trained.
a taxi from the wrong location.
From the post office.
Darling Elliot is going to have to take me.
That is so not what I was planning on doing.
Fine. Anyway, the house. So what we're thinking, just quickly, because now I've got another 2 minutes because you're taking me, is this is probably going to go. We were actually thinking we could maybe put this by the door here, wouldn't we? Also, it'd be quite nice for drinks, like acts as like a little coffee table kind of thing. It's quite good storage, but for now, the only other option is keeping it here or taking it up to Manchester, and we can't do that until we drive up with an empty car. So I don't know when that's going to be, because that's the piece that came from it was like my great-great-granddad's, and came from my dad's storage unit. So yeah, but the chair is looking lovely, and Elliot said in the next 24 hours, and he's going to film it for you. He's going to fit the shelves up, which should be really good. We've just been a little bit hesitant about the shelf situation because of this wall, which is, I thought it was going to be a really solid wall, and it's actually not a solid wall. But these 2 houses, ours and our neighbours, used to be one house, and it's obviously like the partition wall that they've put in. Is that the right terminology?
That's fine.
Just to separate them, it's not really particularly sturdy. But anyway,
I mean, it's definitely sturdy.
Okay, it is sturdy, but it's not.
It's just not. It's hollow.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
Not like
it's
this.
It's not concrete.
So we've had to buy specific things to fix them to the wall, and we were just a little bit hesitant, but we feel like we've got confirmation now. So while I'm gone, Elliot's hopefully going to film that for you, and then we can see them all up.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And
Good morning, guys. So we had a bit of a heavy night last night. It was my stepbrother's 30th birthday, so Elliot and I have been up in Manchester. I had intended to vlog a little bit, but I just ended up spending a lot of time with family and just didn't really get around to it. Also, apologies, the whole last section of this video is completely disjointed, but I wanted to add the clips in anyway. I can't even remember what has gone into it properly, but I was editing the main section on the train on the way up here on Thursday. Went to an art gallery with my mum, went for coffee with friends. I'm going to put in a little picture of Ellie and I last night as well. But yeah, apologies, because I had very much intended to vlog up here, but I'm going to edit the rest of this video to get it out for you guys tonight on the train back down south. But I just wanted to say I really hope that you enjoy the video, and please subscribe if you want to stick around, and I'll see you next week. Bye!